growing up, I had really bad social anxiety, and I remember somewhere, it was maybe second, third grade, I started to be terrified to socialize at school. I'd be freaked out by boys my own age, and then as I started to go through puberty, I was terrified of women, because not only could boys reject me and not want to be my friend, it was like women's rejection was like the ultimate, like, ugh. Because when you're going through puberty, you're like this gross, you're just a giant zit with buck teeth. You're like, and then if you add social anxiety to that, you're like, and this is like 6th grade that I had this revelation. I thought to myself, I'm never going to be able to procreate with a woman because I am terrified of women. The only way for me to be able to procreate with women is if I become famous. And I linked that in my head, and I was like, I have to find a way to become famous. Now at this time, I was already the funny guy, and this became my reason for living, was to be funny, because this was like my ticket out of jail. I'm like, if I am funny enough, then women will like me. So it became this obsession with having to be funny. And even though I had social anxiety, my why was so strong that I was able to overcome the anxiety, because I knew that if I was funny in front of groups of people, that people would like me. So this was my obsession. Now, I'm in 6th grade, I'm not doing any drugs, I don't even smoke weed, I don't do any of those things. But this was like a street drug to me. It was like shooting up when I was a junkie. That's what comedy was. The first time I heard laughter, it was like literally a salve just going over me, and I was able to finally just kind of relax. It's like you're in fight or flight mode your entire life, but when you finally get that affirmation or that approval, it kind of just, I would do crazy things just to be able to get that laugh. Now, anybody who's ever struggled with addiction will tell you that when you're addicted to something, you throw caution to the wind. Cause and effect does not apply to you. Like rationally, you know, if I do this, this is gonna happen. But you throw all that out the window, because when you're in the throes of addiction, you are just like, no, I have to get this thing and I don't care what happens. People go to prison over this. But I didn't do anything too crazy. But my first way to be able to get approval and make people laugh was going inside grocery stores and getting thrown out.
Where's the white lemon?
It's me, Uncle Bob.
You don't want that.
What, no.
Which there is.
Yeah. Hello, Officer Smith.
Hello, how are you today?
Good.
Good.
Move it along, and I'm gonna go find that cop over there, make him kick you out.
That's what we're trying to do.
You need to shut that off now.
You should have gotten permission before you came in the store.
Oh, sorry. We're trying to fuck with each other.
I said turn it off now.
So comedy was kind of the first way to be able to get over social anxiety. Now, the way that's applicable to other people, I would say finding some kind of a purpose of something that you really love to do and focusing on that. That's the quickest temporary fix. And for me, what I started doing was reading a ton of comedian biographies. And the first thing I discovered when I was reading these biographies was comedians are nuts. I would read about these people and I'd be like, oh, these people struggle with the exact same things I do, whether it's Robin Williams or Jim Carrey, and I'd be like, these are my people. So even though I didn't know any comedians because I'm in junior high, I'm in high school, whatever, it was like I felt this kinship and I had a tribe that I hadn't gone into yet, and it was like something to look forward to. I remember reading this thing about Robin Williams and how he had social anxiety. And he would do characters because it would allow him to kind of shield himself from people. And that's exactly what I did. I started working on characters because it allowed me to get out of my own head and sort of get a distance on my own problems, because I got a chance to be able to be somebody else. And after doing therapy over the years, I would even take some of the characters that would embody real life situations that I faced from social anxiety. When I was younger, I used to have shaky voice. And I created a character called Insecure Thug that would act super, super hard, but then when he would get around the opposite sex, his social anxiety would kick in and he didn't know what to do.
Oh, you're making me nervous. I got a freestyle rap for you. Yo, check this out.
Look at that girl, she's so damn hot, it's gonna make me hurl. Oh. Damn, girl, that ain't make no sense. Yo, are you a doctor? Cause I need a prescription for Xanax.
Shaky voice is something that happens to you whenever you just feel a lot of pressure and you're in a public situation. And it's the most embarrassing part of social anxiety. Like somebody's like, hey man, how's it going? And you look confident on the outside and you're like, good. And then you're like, oh man, I'm gonna go disappear and live in the woods for the next 25 years.